Hello everyone, welcome to Evolutionary Biology class, and we are in unit 3, which is sources of variation, and the topic for today is heritable variations and species concept. So let's see the introduction. So what is heritable variation? So the heritable variation refers to the quantity that determines the intrinsic potential of a population to respond to genetic selection. And in nature, differences in fitness among individuals lead to the evolution of adaptive traits. And in agriculture, different breeders improve their populations by selecting the best individual as a parent for the next generation. Population respond to selection only if they contain heritable variation, meaning that individuals differ in the effects they transmit to their offspring. And in classical quantitative genetics, heritable variation equals the additive genetic variance. And the heritable variation reflects the potential of a population to respond to selection, and which is important for adaptive evolution in nature and for genetic improvement in agriculture. So a clear definition of heritable variation allows one to investigate the mechanisms maintaining heritable variation in nature and to optimize artificial selection schemes in agriculture. And also the Mendel's two laws, that is law of segregation and law of independent assortment, explain heritable variations in terms of alternative forms of genes, heredity particles now known as the alleles of genes, and that are passed along generation after generation according to simple rules of probability. So this was all about heritable variation. And next is the species concept. So what is a species? So the species, like the cell and the organism, is one of the most fundamental units in biology. It is fundamental in two very important ways. On the one hand, it is the basic populational and evolutionary unit. Species become transformed through time and they undergo speciation, giving rise to separate and distinct lineages that diversify through time and again form two different species. And on the other hand, it is also a basic unit in classification. So, systematics is often defined as the study of biodiversity, but this is a bit too broad. So, systematics emphasize those aspects of biodiversity that are the result of evolution. Its results are expressed as taxonomy or formal biological classification of organisms. So, species helps in the classification of organisms, and each species is given a name that serves as a unique identifier and has a place in hierarchical arrangement that at once reflects its evolutionary relationships and provides a basis for biologist language. So altogether there are about 3 million species that have been described so far. Of about 1.5 million of species, there are only some details about it. And the estimates of the number of species present in this world range from 5 million to 100 million. And when the people ask why there is a uncertainty between 5 to 100 million species it might be there in the world, because number one, many groups are poorly studied, and notably some microorganisms and parasites. And second one is many environments are poorly sampled. For example, tropical environments, both terrestrial and aquatic. So in the tropical region, both the forests, there are many forests which are still untouched, and there are many places in the oceans where people have not explored each and every part. And third is molecular approaches are identifying more and more cryptic species. What is a cryptic species? It is a cryptic species is indistinguishable from another species at the morphological level, but it is distinguishable genetically. So at the morphological or the physical level, the two different species look same, but genetically they are different. For example, these mussels named Mytilus trossulus and Mytilus galloprovincialis in Monterey Bay. So these two different types of mussels, they look same morphologically, but only when we study their genetic information we find there is a difference between the two, and these two are two different species. And people also have formed different types of species, and here is a list of some different types of species that have been named so far. Some are like chronospecies, cosmopolitan species, cryptic species, endemic species, and so on and so forth. So at the fundamental level, to distinguish basic two species, different people gave different concept of identifying and distinguishing a species from one another, and this led to the species concept. So number one, the first person to give this species concept was the Linnaeus, and the concept was the typological species concept. So this typological species concept was given by Linnaeus, and the definition of this concept was a group of individuals that differ from other groups by possessing constant diagnostic characters. They are different species, and it was based on collecting and describing a type or a specimen for a given species. But the problem with the typological species concept was the polymorphism. What is polymorphism? It is the occurrence of several different forms of individual among the members of a single species. So within a species, different colors, different forms can be there, and this was morphologically different. Apart from this, other problems in the typological species concept was geographic variation among population and sibling or cryptic species, as we have discussed in the mussels. So sibling species are reproductively isolated groups that are morphologically indistinguishable. And next was the biological species concept given by Dobzhansky and Mayer. Mayer in 1940 he stated that species are groups of actually or potentially interbreeding natural population that are reproductively isolated from other such groups. So they told a group of organisms who can interbreed together, they are of the same species. And Dobzhansky in 1937 had given a similar kind of statement where he told that species are the largest and most inclusive reproductive community of sexual and cross-fertilizing individuals that share a common gene pool. And Mayer further divided the biological species concept into non-dimensional and the multi-dimensional species concept. And in non-dimensional species concept, two different species were interconnected but they could not interbreed. And in multi-dimensional species concept, two species were geographically dispersed from one another and they could not interbreed. The problem with biological species concept was that it was not applicable to asexual species. Second was reproductive isolation is often incomplete. Like hybridization is common among many groups like waterfowl, terrestrial plants, freshwater fishes. So, and here the problem was when a whale could mate, or a male whale could mate with a female dolphin, and it gave rise to a baby hybrid, and it was named as wolfin. Not a dolphin, not a whale, but it was named as wolfin. So here are some of the pictures of the wolfin. And another was two different species like lion and tiger. They could crossbreed and form a hybrid known as the liger. And another was when a tiger and a lion, when they interbreeded, they also gave rise to hybrid known as the tigon. So these are the problems with the biological species concept, that is, they are not applicable to asexual species, reproductive isolation is often incomplete, and multi-dimensional species concept is difficult to verify. And then third is the evolutionary species concept, and it was given by George Gaylord Simpson in 1951, and he stated that an evolutionary species is a lineage evolving separately from others with its own unitary evolutionary role and tendencies. And the problem with evolutionary species concept was it was arbitrary, or it was they do not have a proper plan or different proper concept. Although how do you define independent roles and tendencies? And they did not also provide a mechanism for the formation of the species. Next was the phylogenetic species concept, and it was given by Cracraft in 1983, and Cracraft stated that the smallest diagnosable monophyletic groups of population within which there is a parental pattern of ancestry and descent. So according to this concept, two recent extensions are internodal species concept and genealogical species concept. The phylogenetic species concept defines that they have a parental pattern of ancestry and descent. So problems with phylogenetic species concept was what characters to use to distinguish between two species, what level of divergence constitute a species, and distinguishing between gene trees and species trees was difficult. And this phylogenetic species concept also did not provide any mechanism. And fifth is the recognition species concept given by Peterson in 1985. And he stated that the most inclusive population of biparental organisms that share a common fertilization system. So this concept focuses on mate recognizing system. And according to this recognition species concept, there should be a mate recognition system which includes courtship displays, the timing of reproductive events, neuroendocrine signals, design of copulatory organs, and there should be gamete compatibility. So the problems with recognition species concept was it was not applicable to asexual species, and recognition systems often go awry or wrong. And sixth is the cohesion species concept, and it was given by Templeton in 1989. And he stated that the most inclusive population of organisms having the potential for cohesion through intrinsic cohesive mechanisms are a single species. So he classified cohesive mechanisms in two classes. That is, first one is genetic cohesive mechanism. In genetic cohesive mechanism, he stated that there should be a gene flow and stabilizing selection function to maintain the species integrity. And second is the ecological cohesive mechanism, where abundance, demographic stability, strengths of interaction with other species of each and every individual should be studied. And the problem with cohesion species concept was that the studying of these cohesive mechanisms of each and every individual is very, very labor intensive. And among these 6 different species concept, biological species concept is the most common and followed by many taxonomists around the world. So there may be different taxonomists who may follow different type of species concept, but as of now the most common type is the biological species concept. And with this we come to the end of our class. Thank you for listening, and please like, share and subscribe to the channel for getting notified for the upcoming classes. Thank you.